The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. What's happening, Octo Nation? We're going to take a look at another electronic vehicle company. Can you believe it? I want to get all these out of the way. That way we are just aware of the macro picture, what's really going on, and if people really got something special or not, or is everyone just kind of got the same thing? It's going to be compared to even like the new gig capital that came out. Remember, they've got like an EV play that's got some all sorts of stuff like this one. This one is called ADOMani. ADOMani? I don't know. Zero emission vehicles. Have y'all heard of this one? Are you in it? Who are they? A provider of zero emission vehicles, and is a provider of zero electric drivetrain systems for integration into medium to heavy duty commercial fleet vehicles, as well as repower conversion kits. So they sell that's really cool if you ask me. So tons of places out there that got in-house mechanics. If you've got a fleet of over like 12 vehicles, a lot of places will have their own in-house mechanics. They might just be like, dude, just sell me this setup and I'll have my guy install it for the replacement of the drivetrain system in combustion powered vehicles. So they can convert them. Tommy's zero emission electric vehicles are focused on reducing total cost of vehicle ownership and help fleet operators unlock the benefit of green technology and address the challenges of traditional fuel price instability and federal environment regulatory compliance. It's going to be a thing. We're talking about California. They're trying in 10 years, and the UK in like 9 years. It's going to be unbelievable. California EV truck standards. California sets nation's first all-electric truck standards. The Advanced Clean Truck Rule requires half of all medium and heavy-duty trucks in California be electric by 2030. Requires truck manufacturers to sell zero-emission trucks by increasing the percentage between 2024 and 2030. As we just might have heard, maybe, I don't know, a couple days we talked about that Biden actually came out and said we're reversing that thing that Trump denied. Right? So that's coming up. In 2024, zero-emission truck chassis sales need to be 7% of Class 4 to Class 8 truck sales and 3% all other trucks. We know all that. What do these guys do? They've got it all. They've got the full circle, dude. They've got the Proterra buses, right? They got the medium-duty trucks, like the medium box trucks, box vans, state, county, city vans, school buses for Bluebird, which is crazy to me, right? Because other places are, Bluebird themselves actually sells EV vehicles, but what these companies are coming out and doing is they're saying, they're probably going to the school district and saying, don't buy a brand new school bus, just buy our conversion kit for 30 grand or something and install it. Existing fleets. Then they got some really funky little vehicles. This one they're called the neighborhood electric vehicle. We'll get to that one a little bit later, but look how crazy this little thing looks here. The Class 4, 6 trucks, passenger. They got cutaways. These are obviously mocked up though, right? Here's some school bus and here's an ambulance that I was hoping, that Lion was going to be first to market. I still believe Lion probably will be. Like, they already got those trash ones that are actually driving. They actually show them driving, so they're real. This looks like someone made it in 1990 with Microsoft clip art. But, they're showing here this is a potential new products. Keep in mind, this is from their end of 2019 investor presentation. I couldn't find a new one. It's another company that isn't doing the best at keeping updated on stuff. They do have some updates, but why even release this picture, dude? That's the way I'm looking at it. Like, seriously? Looks like, y'all ever play Grand Theft Auto? the first Grand Theft Auto? Where you're overlooking on the vehicles? That's what this looks like here. They've done a lot of groundwork, though. They've got 22 states that have potential funding areas, what they're calling it. Nevada Energy, PG&E in California, Puget Sound Energy in Washington, Avista Utilities. Anyone climb poles for Avista in Idaho? All over. They got some centralized stuff, East Coast stuff. Duke, y'all heard of Duke? Remember, where can we correlate Duke? Duke Energy, Cooper, Georgia Power. This doesn't tell me if they've sold them vehicles, but it's showing that they're working with them a little bit. I don't know. How are they doing now, though? Well, We've got a third quarter report we're going to go over. Just like less than a month ago, they released something that said, momentum continues to build. New York City adds ADOMani all-electric trucks vans to its Clean Trucks program. What is that meaning? So just like California, New York is following, of course. They're basically saying there's a program for businesses. If you convert to all electric, we're going to give you X amount of dollars back as a tax credit. Where does that come from? Taxpayers. One of the reasons state taxes are so high, places like New York, California, they received a grant of eligibility approval for Pro-Motive e-Rivia neighborhood electric vehicles. Just another grant. So they're setting up the groundwork, right? They're getting all this stuff done. ADOMani enters Class 5 electric truck market with first order from Pittsburgh United School District Child Nutrition Services Department. So that's cool. I'm guessing that is food for school, right? So the people that take it from the food place to them, I guess, but the school district is buying it. That's great. So they have orders. And this was just October 6th. ADOMani hires veteran electronic vehicle industry leaders, Philip Aldridge, as CEO. So they got a new CEO. Momentum builds. New York adds them to the all-electric truck bans, New York Truck Voucher Incentive Program, or the voucher stuff. So again, they're getting all this stuff laid out, but it sounds to me like they've got the vehicles, right? I mean, if they're getting their real orders from Pittsburgh school system, pretty neat. Here are the third quarter results. I'm going to skim through these. Sold an all-electric zero-emission logistics van, it's one, to the city of Palmdale, California. In July, the EV van will be used to deliver food supplies and collect donations to benefit residents of South Antelope Valley. Sweet. Hired new CEO. Received a purchase order in October from Pittsburgh for 5 box trucks. Sales is sales, great. They're selling some, but 1, 5, a little bit more than that. In September, we received final public benefit grant program for the ability to Pro-Motive, so grants for San Joaquin. Anyone ever live or does live in San Joaquin Valley in California? Air Pollution Control District. It's made up of 8 counties in California and Central Valley, whose mission is improve life. Yeah. The grant provides a maximum funding of $20,000 per vehicle with a limit of $100,000 per vehicle in Public Energy Agency per year. So California's just handing out those dollar bills, So I guess if you got a company in San Joaquin Valley and you get one of these vehicles, that's a lot of money back. In August, they received final approval as a dealer for our products in New York truck vouchers. Continued in response to adapt to the many legal and regulatory changes resulting from the thing since March that happened. Backlog September 30th was $2.9 million, an increase to $3.1 million in October as a result of the order mentioned above. All right, 3.1 in orders. Following the partial relaxation of applicable state and local restrictions since the thing that happened in March, restrictions consumer showcased all-electric commercial trucks and vans in ride and drive-away events in a limited basis, including also introducing them to a number of private fleet operators and delivery truck industry. So they're trying to sell at events. We continue to be excited about a number of new international opportunities that we learned about 2019 in Ukraine, Mexico, South America, and a number of other countries, and have been investigating them diligently. It's cool. Our e-trike activity in the Philippines has also been severely impacted by the things that's happened in March because of restrictions in our supply chain. So the people who are making whatever parts for their e-trike can't produce them or slow down. And our ability to travel to the island on which our initial 10 e-trikes were placed is in service. So they can't even get to the island where people bought the first 10. Significant damage to the island's economy has occurred as a result of travel restrictions slowing the tourism to a halt. That sucks. Big butterfly effect going on here. October 28th this year, we received $500,000 in loan funding from Envirotech Drive System to Incorporated SRA Professional Services Incorporated. The loan is evidenced by a balloon payment, provisionary note, and an original principal amount 500,000, no interest, yada, yada, yada. Just say what it's going to use it for. Someone resigned employment with us, including his position as president, chairman of the board, and a member of the board of directors. So they're flushing the toilet a little bit. So, you know, again, this is pretty, I wouldn't call it ground floor. They actually have vehicles they can sell. A trike, at least we know about, and then that food one. I'm guessing it's refrigerated. Tons of information on my website if you want to come read more. It's down in the description. Just go down to my website and read. This cracked me up. Okay, here is the neighborhood electric vehicle. This thing is funny looking, right? But the thing that got me, it says the up to 25 miles an hour speed and up to 50-mile range. So I was like, who is going to use this thing? And I was thinking maybe like security guards, like that work at gates for bougie communities, right? Like security guards. But would a security guard drive this little thing? I don't know. What do you think? Am I missing what other neighborhoods would use that? And then this thing really cracked me up. This is like a little three-wheeled little mini cart. But this thing is called a Firefly, and it goes up to 50 miles an hour on a 90-mile range, all electric. Single passenger, though, still. Integrated safety cage. That's my big problem with these. I don't care. I ain't stepping foot in one of those on the street. It looks like maybe like a parking meter guy is what they're using this for, like if he's driving on the sidewalk. So I guess that's great. I kind of want to drive, though, because it goes 50 miles an hour, and then it's got the roll cage in the front, the deer splitter in the front, deer splitter in the back. Y'all see that? That just cracked me up. You know, what is this thing going for? I don't even know. I don't even remember. It's super cheap, something ridiculously low. Again, I would treat this as a lottery ticket. It's not as sketchy as some of the ones we've talked about in this arena of the whole EV buzz. It's not as good as all the SPAC ones we talked about for sure. But it could turn into something neat. You know, they can pretty much do it all. What's different than the GIX one that came out, the GIG Capital? The Lightning e-motors or whatever? What's the difference? And then when you look this one up and see what it's trading for, treat it as a lottery ticket. Do not back the truck up on this. I'll keep you up to date. If I hear something, you keep us up to date too if y'all hear something too. We are going to move on to some more news. A lot happened. If you didn't see my 2 live videos today, please go watch them. The live videos I'm hearing aren't showing up on people's phones when they're hitting, so you have to go to our channel and then actually click on like videos and then live. So check those out. We got some news all over the place. There was a lot of stocks after hours today that were like mooning out of control. We had Commons going to like like Virgin Electric went from like 10 to like 14. Their warrants went from like $1.50 to like 3 or something like that. But then the units only made it to like 12. But to me, the spikes, how big and aggressive, and they're all running together. We call those a fat finger trade in trading, where say you're a big hedge fund manager and you got $50 million in your bank and you're looking to buy maybe $50,000 worth of something, and you accidentally put an extra zero or a couple zeros in there, fat finger it, click the wrong button, something like that. I don't know though. I don't think it was that either. I think it was bots. I think, because bots run through backdoor news channels, okay? And those backdoor news channels provide the data that they flow through to buy. So if something comes in the back screen that says deal merger with, and then they name the ticker, a lot of their bots just auto buy stuff. So I think something might have triggered more than one place, because the amount of money it would take to run up those stocks that much, we're talking $50 million buys on no news. More than that, actually. Okay. I think my calculations are right in my head, maybe 40 million. Insane money pushed around. Why am I telling you all this? If you hear drama on the street and someone says, buy, like most people do, just buy, ticker, buy, come over here, trust me, do your own due diligence. Don't listen to those guys. The first question you should be asking them is, where's the link? That's why I try and always make sure and point out and leave the links on my site for most of the stuff I talk about. That way we've got a reference, right? Just don't follow that stuff. SPACs are very, very crazy right now. They are the top stocks maybe of the century right now. The way they are moving is just absolutely parabolic and crazy. They're the top traded stocks, top 10. They have been in the top 10 for a long time now. Which means that people are trying to take advantage of situations too. So just be aware of that. Always ask for proof of a link. If you get a straight up Bloomberg article or a Rooster article and they say it's 100% legit, okay, great. But if it's just some random dude on StockTwits or something, or Reddit or whatever that's saying something, just be careful, all right? Just be careful. Because you don't want to be putting stuff out there too and then having other people buy also, right? You don't want your friends to see it and then be like, oh, I'm going to get some. You know, and I've done that before. I still do it all the time. I shouldn't. Sometimes you got to manage your risk and take a little chances. But regardless, I just had to bring that up. Just be careful, everyone. I think that was some bot stuff. Something could still come out, though, tomorrow or Friday from Virgin. Does anyone know what actually happened? Please let us know. Trying to still figure it out. I actually spent like 45 minutes trying to search. There was about 5 tickers that were just flying after hours. SRIC, I think SRIC was one too. It's absolutely flying. That one, people earlier today were saying that ARK bought them. They're like, ARK bought them. So everyone started buying. ARK didn't buy them. All right. We waited till the end of the day. I checked the ARK buying. ARK didn't buy them. All right. Ask for the link. Ask for the link. One of our patrons, he's been great. He's been with us for a long time. Great support of the channel. We thank you. He wrote, and this was in reference to CIIC, the Golden Goose SPAC, our rival themselves, which are still doing an excellent job of marketing and keeping us aware, keeping us in tune, engaged. If you don't believe me, go check out their Twitter. It's still daily, every other day, hours. They're posting new videos. Professional, dude. They've got a sense of humor though too, and they're cool. Their battery tech, they had a video on today. Go watch it if you're interested in it. Go watch that video tech video they put out. Battery tech video they put out. CIIC said, I don't think I've ever seen such a price discrepancy between commons and warrants. Anyone have any idea why the warrants aren't around $14? What's he talking about? So the commons for this one, we're sitting at like $25, $32, something like that, right? The warrants were only sitting at like $5, somewhere around there. If you calculate that out, like he was saying, they usually try to match up. Those are technically worth about 14. Like if the deal was done and the commons were that high, those warrants are actually worth like 14 because you can just cash them in. Anything over 1150, right? You add it up. Minus it all out. The reason why, at least my interpretation of why that's happening and how I see it, is I've talked about this a little bit the past couple of days, but warrants past like $4.50 to $5, they're not going to have those as big a gains as actually commons. It just is what it is. I think a lot of it is because most retail traders, if you're in Webull, Robinhood, all those smaller traders, Tastyworks or whatever that thing is called, I've heard, you can't buy units and you can't buy warrants either. So retail can only buy the commons. So that's where you get that carry through, right? You have the hardcore SPAC guys and the hardcore investor guys that are buying the warrants early, like Octonation. If you don't have one of these big boy brokers, get one. I have multiple brokers for multiple reasons, but you need the opportunity. You're missing out on money if you don't have a big boy broker also. You can keep your Webull and your Robinhood, use it for something, but then get another account and treat it like a slow moving, I call it my grandpa account. I've got one I call my grandpa account, right? Where I buy only SPAC commons near the floor of around $10. Super safe. It's like the best savings account in the world. There's almost zero risk and it's almost impossible not to make money. If you just buy stuff the second it comes out, wait 3 months, right? Regardless, retail, I think, is what is carrying the commons way higher. And so just keep that in the back of your head though too. Maybe once you get to 4 or something like that, you could switch over to commons, or you could just keep the warrants forever and say, okay, I'm just going to long hold those and then just move different money into the commons and let those ride up. Use the rulers and the calculators though too, because if you were to actually calculate the percent that both of these were down, the warrants today were down exactly 35% all-time highs. The commons were down 35% exactly off all-time highs too. But going past the $30 mark, like look at the other ones like Hylion and all those, right? Tattooed Chef, like the ones that really ran like DKNG and stuff. The warrants get tapped out, basically. Think of it that way. They can go way higher, but they just don't. Retail can't get them. It's nothing crazy. It's pretty normal actually right now. Just look at other stocks if you don't believe me. Market news. Yeah, I already said it. Arrival's just awesome. I wanted to take a look at the chart though. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is CIIC. This is like a swordfish mako shark combination. When you see this, it's still up in the air. I don't have a magic globe that's going to tell me, but technicals in this do point to the fact that more than likely this is probably going to go up from here for many reasons. Basically, call it a bull flag we had, bull break, drip, but now we have this tight consolidation that's happening at the end of the swordfish's snout. Remember we've talked about 100 times that when stuff gets tight and it starts fighting, people want to go up, people want to go down. Who usually wins? The bulls usually win. So let's call it 65%-ish of the time. We might do this. Come back, reject on the nose, head up, and then just do this thing, you know, on these cool. I think this might be the new unicorn SPAC. You know, $25, $32 or something. As long as the market doesn't do a crazy crash or a crazy crash on SPACs, which does happen. Keep that in mind. Is this thing better than Hylion? Hylion? What do you guys think? Can make me say it? I like this company a lot more than that. I think there's way more potential. I think I'm still in Hylion. I think it's cool. But dude, this one, the macro picture, this one, and holy Toledo. I think these guys are farther along, yada, 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 yada. Why wouldn't this be able to go as they did? That's my question. If you can't figure that out, it should. But again, remember, that's just 65% of the time-ish that is probably going to go up, which still means it can go down. If you want an exact price target up or exact one down, I don't have it. What I can tell you is we've got another line. We're going to call it 2242 to watch. So if this does break south, it could be just faking out the bulls and be like, nope, it's going down. And then everyone's going to sell. What's going to happen? Big boys can come in and start buying. It could hit this 2242, reject off, come back, reject again, which confirms it, and then start heading up. We've seen a lot of that. We call those the fake outs, the bull or the bear fake outs. Or again, you know, this could go all the way down to 12 and just bleed out till 10 and then pre-merger run up. Who knows? Just manage your risk. Don't forget about the warrants though. Warrants still got a long ways to run too. They're both down 35%. So remember that. Let's go over the ticker. ADOM for me. The reason I usually don't give out tickers, I try not to, is because everyone's got a different ticker. We don't just have United States people in our family here. We got them all over the world and they got different tickers for everything. So just come type this in. All right, it's the name, type it into your broker and then see what ticker it gives you. Cross check it. You know, I don't want you guys to buy the wrong thing. This is OTC, so this is another one that you cannot buy unless you're on a big boy broker. So if you're on Webull, nope. If you're on Robinhood, I don't think so. Unless, I don't know, they might change things. But where's it sitting? 72 cents. You know, it's like, it seems kind of sketchy. I don't know. I'd rather wait to get more than like 6 sales of vans. Okay, but, you know, if they get an order for 50, or if they get an order for 100, Don't you think this thing might be worth way more than 72 cents and then it'll be 5 and then you're gonna be FOMOing? I don't know. Personally, you know, I can manage my risk, and I think it's worth having a couple lottery tickets worth of money in here, maybe a pair of Jordans. Anyone wear Jordans in here? Anyone not wear Jordans? I don't. Whatever you think it's worth, you know, just don't back up the truck on this. We'll see y'all out there. Protect yourself. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks everyone for all the help and support. The channel is just absolutely booming. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind sharing this with your friends, join the Patreon. We've got a good group going on. We got some good messaging. Everyone's helping out each other. Y'all take care. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.